is warm up those hands and take them apart and put them together for Khaled. Did that message resonate, what I talked about? Where even if you're not in the room, you can leave an impact.
Of course.
With your technology that you are doing and you're working on.
Yes, of course.
We'll talk about that.
Sure.
Tell us about yourself. Who is Khaled Zaatarah?
Where should I start?
It's a very small question, right? But big answers, yeah.
Big answers. So I'll remember, go back to when I was in school. I think where
was the school?
I was in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
I was in a school in Saudi Arabia, and
what's your nationality?
I'm Jordanian.
Okay.
And when I was in school in Saudi Arabia, I was like any other kids. There was nothing different. But I think one of the most important things was my father. So I wasn't a very good student. So my grades were C's and D's. Some of them were about failing.
We have something in common.
And so in school, yeah, I wasn't doing very well. But one of the things that gave me a lot of confidence is my father, giving me things that no one had, things that gave me power and, let's say, being street smart.
How did you do that?
So for example, I was maybe 13 years old. I had my own motorcycle. So I used to go to school with my motorcycle. I was the only kid that I had a motorcycle. So that gave me, he gave me trust. He gave me empowerment. I used to drive on my own way, no driver to drop me to school, no bus. So I was empowered when I was young.
Did you ask for it or did you just give it to you?
I asked for it. Asked for it, but I didn't know how to drive it. So we bought it, and he just told me drive in the highway after him. So in Saudi. So my mom was looking at she's telling me that story. She's looking at the back window and she's seeing this little boy, 12 years old, skinny, driving a motorcycle in the highway, following my father. And I didn't have a driving license. I never drove a motorcycle in my life. But from that he gave me a lot of confidence that, even if you don't know how to do something, just believe that you can do it. And then whenever we used to go to, school, the parents, what they called? Parents meeting?
Parent-teacher meeting, yeah.
So my grades are C's and D's. And every time he sits, he tells them, he's an A student. He shouts. So he used to shout on the teacher. In front of me, and he's an A student. He's an A student. And my mom tells him he's not. He's getting C's and D's. And how is he an A student?
Amazing.
So from there, I think.
What were you thinking when he was doing that to the teachers?
Know. What is he saying? I never got one A. Maybe in arts or computer. So this was one of the things that gave me encouragement that always think whatever people around you tell you will resonate in your mind. And then from there, I moved to university. In university, my friends used
So how did you shift to becoming a good student?
I wasn't. So till I graduated, so I was street smart. So going to the street, I used to know how to get things done. I used to know how to convince the cops not to take me to jail if I'm driving without a license with my motorcycle.
Give us an example.
So once I used to always drive around my house, around my neighborhood without a license, without anything. And my school was 3 minutes away. So one day I was going back from school, and then I see the cops behind me, with their car. So I was a little kid. I sped, and then I went behind a small, supermarket, very small one next to a mosque. I was hiding there for 10, 15 minutes. It's now I'm sure this guy have left. So I went to my house. My house is very nearby. I see the police waiting in front of my house. So he asked around, where does this guy live, with the guy with the motorcycle, and he knew where I was living. So from there he was trying, he was calling the pickup, so they take my motorcycle, put me in jail. And I was convincing him, I was just putting fuel, I just use it inside the villa, inside the compound, and then finally I convinced him. So from there.
Did your father shout at him?
No, he wasn't there.
No, nothing. Okay.
He wasn't there.
You never got into jail, right?
No, never. And then from there I moved to university days as well.
Where did you do it?
In American University of Sharjah.
Okay.
So from the beginning, my friends told me, you know, it's a very hard university, you're gonna fail. It's either from the first semester you need to get a very high GPA and maintain it, or you're gonna fail. We are failing. That's what they're telling me. So I worked so hard the first semester to prove that, you know, I want to make sure that I get a very high GPA at the beginning, so I wouldn't face any issues later on like all my friends are facing. And I successfully got a very high GPA, so maybe 3.0 out of 4 or something like that. And then I maintained it. And then from there, during university, I was always trying to achieve more and going above and beyond. So the word that I was always doing is like going above and beyond, trying to challenge myself and seeing the dream and becoming a better person and being better than what I used to be. So the university journey was tough, but I graduated with honors. So I graduated with cum laude, one of the very few people in the department that you know, in my field. So from there I graduated, and then I was looking for a job, and like any other guy looking here and there, I was planning to go to Canada to do my immigration, and my stuff was packed almost there. I have my, you know, I applied to universities there, masters. I wanted to do my masters in Canada. And then suddenly one of the companies that I applied for gave me an offer. So I was like, no. And I applied at Procter & Gamble at the same time. So P&G and then that other company. That company is a very reputed company, but I was like, no, I want to do my master's, I know. But I said, you know what, if I get the job in P&G, because P&G is a once in a lifetime, I'll stay and I'll do it. So that company gave me an offer. I said, I didn't tell them yes. And then P&G in a week gave me an offer. So it was only 1 week graduating from university. And it was a very quick you know, offer that I got there. So I was telling myself, should I take this? Should I go to do my master's?
Where do you think they gave you the offer?
What?
Where do you think they gave you the offer?
Why did they give it to me?
Why do you think? In your opinion?
A couple of reasons. I think one of the things I was different. So for example, my CV that I gave to them was like a, you know, like similar to the color swatch CVs that I had given them. So the HR manager used to work, like after I got hired, they told me this story. The HR manager was going all around the offices showing the employees, look at this, look at this. So this was one of the factors, and the personality that they showed, the confidence and what I've done during university. So I've done a lot of projects, let's say, arranging the prom, arranging so many things. So they saw that, you know, personality that they needed. So I said, okay, I joined them. And from there, I was always challenging myself. So I was maybe the youngest person in P&G at that time. And I always wanted to do something more. And my manager was one of the strongest managers that gave me as well, similar to my father, just full trust and full empowerment. So I had millions of dollars under my, my ownership, let's say, in terms of spending them into marketing and doing, you know, great stuff. And the growth that I was doing for the company was huge. So double-digit growth, year on year. I got 2 Guinness World Records for them.
What is that?
So the Guinness World Records was creating the biggest UAE flag out of you know, the perfume, Lacoste perfume. So I was managing Lacoste perfumes at that time. So I was the brand manager of Lacoste, and I've created the biggest UAE flag. And it was an impossible thing that they said Dubai Mall will not give you the permit to build a structure in the atrium of Dubai Mall. You might not get the record. How will you get it? No way to get it. It will cost so much. And I proved everyone wrong. And I made it, and we won the record for the company. And this was massive. Second, as well, there was a campaign for another brand with the Princess of Saudi Arabia. It was my idea. I want to collaborate with that princess, Princess Amira, which was the ex-wife of Walid bin Talal. So I told the brand, I'm gonna get her. The brand was Gucci, so I was managing Gucci, part of the cosmetics and makeup and perfumery. So the Gucci brands are always, they tell you it's impossible to get approvals for any idea. But when I told them that idea, that I just had the idea, they told me, you know what? if you do it, you win the jackpot. You know, you have our approvals from now. Because they believe that it's impossible to get a princess to work for a brand. She's a millionaire, she's a billionaire. How can she do a campaign for a brand? So I made my calls, I went, I talked, and finally I convinced her. I got
What did
her
you do?
here.
How do you? What was in it for her?
So what's in it for her? What was in it for her? Like, I knew that the campaign was about women empowerment, and I knew that she really loves women empowerment and empowering women. So I told her about that idea. I told her this is a full campaign about empowering women. The video is going to be distributed to millions of women around the Middle East region. This is what you like to do, and we've done it. And she said yes, and everyone was shocked. Like, how did you do that? You can find the video now. If you search Gucci, Princess Amira Tawil on YouTube, you see 2 million, 3 million views. I did it even without telling my manager, so I surprised her. She got shocked. She told me, how didn't you tell me? I told her, I just want to do my thing. You know, I took my approval from the fashion house, which are the big guys in Milan and Italy. Why you want to put your hands on it? Because I know when she puts her hands on it, she's going to ruin the whole thing. She's going to tell me it's impossible, you cannot do this, no. So I always, you know.
So you managed the energy, what you needed.
Yeah, so I knew that I was on the safe side. I got the approvals from the higher end where I wanted to do it. And it's something good for the company to do with this.
So what is the Guinness book for that for?
So the Guinness book was for Lacoste, the other brand I did.
Okay,
so
the
biggest UAE flag. And then I did the same thing in Saudi Arabia. So I did the same, it was a palm tree of Saudi Arabia made of the same thing.
Okay.
And over there, like, I got a lot of celebrities as well here to Dubai and all that. So it felt that, okay, I'm doing so many things, but I wasn't satisfied. So I had that feeling that, okay, I'm doing so many amazing things for a company and getting great results, but, you know, okay, I'm learning a lot, but what is it for me, you know? What am I building? How am I, you know, inspiring people? How am I helping people? And I always had that thought, like...
Why? Why do you have that thought always?
My passion in life is, like, I love to inspire people. I love to do something that
Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know where that came from. It's always in me. Like, I love doing something that is good for this society and helping people. And so I was happy, and all my friends used to look at me like, wow, you have the best job ever. You have all the power in the world. Everyone, whoever you want, like celebrities, wanted to work with me or be friends with me because I had that much of power, and the brands I was managing were huge. And for me, okay, that was important, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something even better and bigger, and something for my own. So one day we were going in a team offsite as a company, and we used to do, every time they used to do something nice and fun. So we had a boat rented in the Palm. And then I was standing next to the CEO of our group, and there was a big palace, you know, these mansions in the tip of the Palm, they call the Point Villas. So I told him, look at this amazing palace, you know, it's amazing. I wish I can have one day that palace. And he looked at me, he told me, Khaled, you will have that palace one day, but not with us, when you do your own thing. So coming from him and showing that how much he believes in me as well as a group CEO, and this shows, like, no CEO will tell that to an employee in a way that he's empowering him to do his own thing as well. So days came and went, and then I used to kayak every week. So on Fridays, I have this blue kayak, 3-seated kayak, and I used to kayak every Friday. I used to go to my friend, like, I used to drop it off from the first shoreline apartments here, go across the Anantara and to the hotels, see some of my friends there, come back. And one day when I was coming back, the weather was very, very windy, and the waves were very, very high. I was trying to paddle to the front, but the waves were taking me to the right, and the wind was taking me to the right, so I wasn't able to go back to where I started. And I was losing hope. Like, how come every day I take the same route every week, and I don't have this problem, and there's no wind, there's no waves, and I'm able to go straight. And that I was sitting at the last seat, at the back seat, so the third seat. So the last seat was the most comfortable seat. It had cushions at the back. It's the most comfortable seat that I've prepared for myself, and I feel comfortable with.
Three-seater, and nobody's in the front.
No, I'm the only one at the back. And then suddenly, on that way, I saw that same palace, same villa that, that CEO once told me that this can be yours, and that leader. And it just came to me in a second. It was like, how can you be a leader or leading your life while you're sitting at the last, most comfortable seat and going with the flow? So suddenly I just did the jump and I just sat in the first seat of the kayak. And I swear to you, when I first sat there and I started paddling, the kayak started going straight.
Ah.
That's a small move, but to me, that was huge. Like, one small step that I took charge of my life. I took charge of my direction of where I'm going. And the kayak started going straight. And from there I was like, wow, you know what? I'm gonna go next week. I'm gonna resign. I'm gonna follow my own path. I'm not gonna go with the flow.
Literally.
And yeah, and I want to go, I want to build something that helps people, something that, builds on my passion and all that. So when I went to them, I talked to the manager, the CEO himself. I told him, I'm resigning, I want to do my own thing. At first he was trying to convince me, but I told him the story. And I reminded him of what he told me. And he told me, you know what, go and make me proud and make us proud. So from there, when I moved, I didn't have that much of money, to start a big company and start hiring employees and start investing in marketing and building a product and all of that. There were two ways to it. Either I get an investment and build a tech company, and from that investment I can build the company and hire the people that I want.
Why tech?
But
why do you choose tech?
Tech is because it's innovative, it's creative, it's new. It's the future, I believe.
But you came from the fashion brands. Why didn't you create a fashion brand? With your experience.
With the experience, I didn't see the. It doesn't make me wake up in the morning. It's not something new that is into what I really like to do. Innovation and creativity is my passion. To build things that add value to people. So a brand, there's millions of brands out there. And I always like to be different. I don't like to create something or build something that there are the same from. So from that, before when I was in P&G, I bought a house on mortgage as an investment, as a big step that I did. But now after I left, I had no money to be able to open that company, pay my mortgage. So I said, you know what, I'll rent that house and then I'll move to a small studio. So that's what I did. I rented the house, I rented a small studio. I slept on a mattress for like 2-3 weeks until I got the furniture and all of that. And I was talking to investors, finalizing my pitch, trying to talk to many people to start getting funding, and the doors were closed.
So how do you decide what to pitch for?
What to pitch for? It was a very interesting moment as well. I was sitting at my friend's house and I was looking, I was selling my house. And when I was selling my house, renting a new house, I had really difficulties to find the right property on Dubizzle and Property Finder. When I used to go there to the property, the images were completely fake than what is there on the website. So I was sitting at my friend's house complaining about that problem, and 3 years ago there was like virtual reality was coming up and people were talking about it. So it was a very still new technology. I said, why can't I use virtual reality to take 360 pictures of properties which are authentic and use them on the property websites? So from there I came up with the idea, and I was at my friend's house. We came up with the idea together. And I packaged this as an idea to focus on real estate, and I started pitching to investors. A lot of investors told me, no, you're still very early. We only invest in very high, revenue-generating businesses that has been there for a year or two with a team. You're only one. How can we invest in you and you're only one? So there were so many complications and setbacks until I applied to a competition in Dubai Silicon Oasis, so Dubai Technology Entrepreneur Center, and I won as the best startup of the year, the idea and the presentation and everything. So from there, I took that chance. I went to them. I told them, invest in me. Okay, I won. Invest in me. Invest in me. Invest in me. They said yes, but that took them around maybe three months or 4 months to say, okay, we'll give you this much of money if you're able to get double of this money from other people, from other investors. So it was a contingent to, okay, we're gonna give you this 100, for example, 1,000, if you get 200 from outside. So it was another challenge for me. I was like, how, I just wanted that money and I can't have it until I get 2 other people. Like, what can I do?
And what percentage they wanted?
What
percentage they wanted? They would get a
wasn't big
proportional.
enough. Yeah, proportionally. Yeah.
Proportionally.
Yeah, proportional percentage.
So what kept you moving?
What kept me moving is that I wanted to do this idea. I really believed in it. I knew that it's hard to that process is hard, but I knew that there's always a door that can open. So I went and I started talking and with friends here and there.
So what were you asking the money for?
To start to build the product.
Okay, so it was just an idea.
It was an idea.
And you're not a tech person.
No.
So you had to outsource the people to do the coding and everything for that.
The coding, the platform, the team that will do all the work.
So you had already taken an evaluation of how much would that cost.
Exactly.
And that is what you're basing your pricing. Okay.
Exactly. So from there, I started talking to people, talking to friends and investors, and trying to cover that amount. So I started selling that and telling them, I have Dubai government investing in me. Do you want to invest? So that step, having them, okay, they gave me a lot of challenges and complications, but it was a tool for me and to close other investments. So I was able to close another 2 people, luckily, and one of them was the friend that I sat and I created. The idea came at his house, and when I asked him after 1 week, do you want to invest in? Do you want to be part of this idea? He said no. But after he saw what I've done the past period and how I left my job and all of that, he actually invested money. So instead of him taking, let's say, 50% equity of the company, he got maybe 2%, and he have actually put money. So this gave me as well, like, if you believe in something, never stop and move and keep on moving forward, and things will happen. People will see the value, people will see the product and all that. So from there, I took the money and I started looking for people, amazing people, and developing this idea. And I started looking into who do I partner with, and I was lucky to partner with Dubizzle. So I partnered with Dubizzle. We integrated our system with the Dubizzle platform. So now any real estate agent that wants to take a 360 of their property, they just do it online. We get an automated request, and the 360 will be automated on Dubizzle. And from there, we grew from 1 team member to around 4 team members. And then the cash was a very small cash, so we were burning out. And slowly by slowly, I was left with no cash. So I wanted to get as well more revenues, and at the same time, another round of investment.
So did you see the revenue initially, or did you just know that it was a good idea and I'll figure out the revenue model later?
I thought it's a good idea and I'll figure out the revenue model later. And I started getting money here and there in terms of revenue. But of course it was, because if you want to build a great product, you need to invest. And you need to invest a lot in marketing and building the product, hiring people, renting the office. So there's so much cost.
But these investors will ask you, where is the money going to come from?
Exactly. So you do projections, you do how you are going to generate the revenues from, what are the sources of revenues that you will be getting, the value of this company after, let's say, 2-3 years, when you have that much of users or that much of partnerships or that much of downloads, for example, if you have the mobile app. So it's always as well, like, I've started reading a lot about tech startups, tech companies around the world, and how to evaluate a company, and how to get investments, and how to show them future projections of a company. And from there I was as well going like, I need more investment to be able to create what I want to create. Because what I saw with the real estate segment is that it's not very scalable. So when I used to go and talk to investors, they used to tell me, okay, how scalable is this? You're in Dubai. How can you do this in the US? How can you do this in Europe? How can you, you need people to go and record for you. You need to have a very big team. This is very operational. And this is not a tech startup. You're a services company. You're not a tech company. So from there, taking their advice and taking their comments, I thought to myself, what can I do to help reach people all around the world? How can I make my company and my product scalable all around the world? So I thought of, okay, what people want. So I thought of what people want. And focusing on a segment of people that are currently, let's say, are the future people. So the future people are the Generation Z. So people that are the teenagers nowadays. So these are the people that they were born with a mobile phone. They are always on their smartphone. They're ready to leave their wallet at home, but not their phone. They watch videos 24/7. So I said, what do these people want? And I figured out that these people have a sickness called FOMO. FOMO is fear of missing out. And 56% of teenagers now have FOMO, which they have a fear of missing out. And there's another term that I was taught as well, is FOLO. And what the hell is FOLO? FOLO is fear of living offline. So these people really, the kids nowadays, they have a fear of living offline. Like, try to take their phone away from them for like a week or 2 days. I dare you. They cannot. They will go crazy.
They'll no longer be your kids.
They no longer be your kids. So I said, okay, I'll create a product that will let these people teleport in time. So I'll create something that these people, the kids, can see everything around them as if they're there. They can be in a happening, an event, with a celebrity, with any place they want, without being there, without the need to leave their homes if they need to.
Like Facebook Live.
Like Facebook Live, but on another level. So I thought of, how can I create an app, a mobile app, that gives them full authenticity to see everything in 360, live. So at that time, no one has had it before as an idea.
That was like 2-3 years ago?
This was a year ago.
Year ago, okay.
What's the age group?
Age group of?
The kids.
The kids are between 15 to 20 years old.
Okay.
So I started building that product, but the idea of live streaming in 360, so you can see everything around you and you can move your finger and see everything around you, was still impossible.
But this is the concept that you create a business idea and went and pitched and started, right?
That was the first, let's say, images, because there was images of panoramas. So the new idea was videos of happenings and events that you can control and see every angle of it. You can zoom in, zoom out, and see everything in 360, so it's virtual reality. And live streaming that in live streaming. So from there, I said, okay, we'll create a product, we'll create a mobile app that streams in live 360 top happenings, so top events with artists, with influencers, master classes to educate people in terms of how to do, how to drive a Formula 1 car, how to do styling. So educating them, but feel like they are there. They're teleported in time. So from there, with that concept, I started building it, getting more users. Users have went up to around 600,000 users. And it started growing and getting more downloads, and revenue started coming in. And we started winning awards. So we started winning a Media Startup of the Year by Arabian Business. And then we started growing as well from 2 or 3 team members to 10 team members, let's say 7 months back. And from there, we saw the projections where we can be. So it's like a Netflix product, but for the younger generation with exclusive entertainment or exclusive happenings that they can be teleported to. So from there, I started taking this new scalable idea and talking again to the investors that told me no at the beginning. I told them, look, I have a scalable product that can go all around the world. Anyone from around the world can view these, and we can start creating things, happenings around the world. Most of them said no as well. They said, okay, but you still need employees to go and record in, for example, Europe, in London, an event. So you still need workforce to go and do these things. You're still not a tech company, a tech startup that is...
And when they say no, what is that's going on in your head?
In my mind is like, just give me the chance, give me the money, I'll adapt it, I'll do it, I will find a way to move, and I'll try to, okay, you give me good advice, but help me so I can move forward, and then we will work together to make this even better. So from there, I was able to convince one of the biggest investors in Silicon Valley. And these are the same investors that invested in Google and PayPal, to invest in us, and it was their first investment in a Middle East company. So that was a big hit for me, like, okay, I'll manage to get these investors from Silicon Valley to invest in us. And then I was able to get another big investor from Saudi Arabia to invest in us.
Talal?
Who?
Prince Wali Talal?
No, not Prince, not yet. So from there, this was...
His wife? Ex-wife?
This was a year ago, so
okay.
This second...
No, because this happened after the Gucci, so I was just thinking maybe...
No. So this was a year ago. And from there, I was able to lock the investment, and this whole journey takes 3-4 months of following up and closed doors and no's and trying to find a way, talking to so many other investors, convincing them.
At any point of time, did you think, should I look at another idea?
To look at any other idea, no. I always want to I believed in this idea a lot, and I wanted to make it better. So I wanted, okay, it might not be the best idea there yet, but I'm gonna always try to improve it, do it, and get to where I want to go. Because I really believe, like, when you have a great idea and you think it's something that is of importance and you like it and you think that it has potential, if you believe in it, there's always a way to make it work.
And do you think of 2-3 ideas at the same time, or there's only one idea that you think of all the time? It's only this business that you're working on, or
yes.
Are you working on other things also?
No, so I
your heart and soul is completely in this?
Yes, my heart and soul is completely on this. Like, I believe if you want to make something successful, you need to put all your heart and soul in it. You need to put, all your effort in it, because if you don't do
into one thing,
it won't work. After that works, then you can do, if that's on autopilot and cruise control, you can do something else on the side, but you know that this is the projections of it and this is how it's going to be. So from there, I was able to close that second investment by Silicon Valley and a Saudi investor. And I started hiring people. So we were like 16 people now. We grew in numbers. We tripled in revenue. We tripled in valuation as well. And then I always started remembering what the other investors used to tell me, that, okay, this is not very scalable still. You still need people. And until one day I was in the airport, in the plane, flying to Lebanon for a project. And I said, okay, how can I make this more scalable? How can I make this easily scalable? And I thought of, okay, why don't I have teleporters to teleport people? And then people, I had my colleagues sitting next to me, they thought I'm crazy. It was like, what do you mean? I told them, why don't we get school students and college students? We give them this small camera. There's a new technology. It's a very small camera that connects to your iPhone. Give them that camera. They are like our Uber drivers. Uber drivers now, they have their cars, they have their own app, and they get requests, and they go and cover these requests. So why don't we get these school students and college students, let them sign up with us as teleporters, and whenever they get requests, they go and live stream that event or happening in 360. So they're not employees to us. It's very scalable. They get a request and they can go and do it. And they make money out of it. So they go to something they like and they make extra money to it, and they go to that event for free. Said, oh, that's a good idea. So from there, I started working on the model, thinking of all the...
So what kind of events are we talking about here? What kind of events?
Concepts.
Not only concerts. So we said top happenings. So we didn't put an event so it's a top happening, something that you.
But in a
You're
lot of
interested
events,
about.
they say you cannot record.
Yes.
So what do you do?
So what we do is we partner with the event organizers. So for example, let's say in a concert, now many people are on Instagram, for example, or Snapchat and all that, and these people are losing money. So when we do a partnership with them, we do revenue generation, revenue sharing with them. And we have been doing this now the past period where we live stream the top artists. We worked with like Ricky Martin, local Arab artists like Amr Diab, Nancy Ajram, Elisa. We worked with all of them in the past year. But it's not only related to this. So you think about it as a happening can be any happening, such as a festival or a hurricane or a protest. So a happening is something that people are interested to be in, but they cannot be in real time in 360. That they
You could become a news agency.
Yes. So from there we said, okay, this is a scalable model that can go big. And I believe, and I reminded myself, like, what do I want to do to reach that, let's say, to help people or to do that success? And really thought of the tech companies that are in the region, like Souq, Kareem. All of these companies have done amazing, but they stayed local. And they got acquired, like Souq got acquired by Amazon, but they stayed local. I said, you know what? I want to make this product go global and show and inspire the youth that you can make a product from the region and make it global and make it one of the top, let's say, platforms around the world. And from there, currently, like the past period, we ranked #1 on App Store ahead of Netflix and Shahid in even June and July.
So what made it go to #1?
What made it go to #1 is a project that we have done, which is the World Cup.
Okay.
World Cup in Russia. So that's an interesting story as
I
well.
was about to ask you.
Huh?
I was about to ask you, what are you covering the World Cup?
The app is called 360 Views. 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 So what made us go #1 was the World Cup. So the World Cup was coming. I was talking to my sales manager, and Ramiz is one of our sales advisors as well. Helping the sales manager. So the sales manager was, didn't know what to do, what projects to lock. I was telling him, this is World Cup, man. Go lock the World Cup. Let's do the World Cup. It's like, it's impossible. How can we go to the World Cup in Russia and partner and create this? I told him, don't worry. Just get a brand that wants to partner with us. They cover some of our costs, and we go and do it. He was like, no, it's not possible. How can we live stream? How are we going to get cameras inside the stadium? It's World Cup, FIFA. I told them, don't worry. Just get it, and I will assure you we're going to get there. So back and forth, with like pushing the client. Like we had maybe 10 clients. You name it, Coke, Pepsi, Visa, all the clients in the world. Like we had a lot of clients that we wanted to partner with them to send influencers to the World Cup and live stream the behind the scenes of their experience going to the stadium with the fans, because you don't see this on TV. You see the game.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes of what's happening around you with the fans, you don't see this. So I said, okay, it's a great idea to partner with a brand, send influencers there with us, and teleport and show people everything behind them in 360 around the World Cup. So many brands said, no, we're worried, until one brand, which is Rani, part of Aujan. You know the Rani drink?
Yeah.
So they got convinced. And we were able to lock a very big deal with them. Monetary revenue sharing, revenue deal that they were, and we locked, and that was the biggest achievement. Like I've locked the investment in the deal inside the meeting. So it's of course with Ram's tips on tricks and how can I convince them as well.
He's too good.
We were able to lock that deal, and
he makes you see more value than you see for it yourself, right?
And then the World Cup was in like 3 weeks. So how are we going to do the World Cup? You know, how are we going to send people? How are we going to buy tickets to the World Cup? How are we going to get visas to the World Cup? How are we going to do all of that? I was like, you know what, team? We will do it. Nothing is impossible. Like I always am, nothing is impossible. If you want to do something, you can do it.
Look for the exit door.
Yeah, look for the next one. And I have a saying, like it's a quote that some investors tell me, if the door is closed, you jump in from the window.
Okay.
So it's not the exit door, it's the window for me. So I jump in from the window. And this is what, you know, and it was a big success. We got the visas, we went to the World Cup, we achieved over the results the brand wanted. Our app went #1. And from there now we're working on this teleporter idea and we're building it and you know the design and creating something that is really outside the box, something that is not there with very high standards like Silicon Valley standards, higher than Netflix standards. And now we're really, I want to create something that would really inspire people and something that can go global and not only regional. And this is my biggest why. And to help people to teleport in time, they can be anywhere around the world, to save time and money. At the same time, to inspire the youth that you can, this is achievable. You can do something, whatever nationality you're from, whatever region you're from. It doesn't need to always be that you need to be in Silicon Valley, in the States, to do these big platforms.
You can be in Dubai Silicon Oasis.
Exactly. You can be anywhere. You can
Silicon
be
Valley
anywhere.
here in Dubai.
Exactly. You can be anywhere to create that. And this is what I'm trying to achieve, like to inspire the youth and show the team as well that have been with me from the beginning, that have been supporting me from day one and believing in the vision with us and putting their hard efforts, their time. Like today was a holiday, I was in the office, I just came from the office. They were there without me asking them to come to the office to work because it's a holiday, but they were there. They had the passion for it, they wanted to do it, they wanted to build this new big thing. And they want to innovate because if I wanted to copy something, there's so many good ideas around the world to copy. But I wanted to do something different, something new, something innovative that it's not there. To create something from scratch. And God be with us. So now it's the next journey. Hopefully things go in the right direction that we want to. We're able to create something.
And when you go in the wrong direction, it's the people who tell you that you're wrong who are your biggest supporters actually, because you just get back on track because of that.
Yeah.
So what I see in your journey is it doesn't matter what the obstacles are, you're going to jump over it and go to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And when that is the intention, then God is always with you.
Exactly.
Questions? Questions? I'm sorry I didn't open the floor to questions. But it's an amazing story.
Please choose page number
Your
11.
dad's proud of you now?
Yes.
He says A student.
So he came to one of the events that I did, like a launch, and he told me, I always was worried about this move, but now I know what you're doing. You're on the right track.
Wow.
There's three questions.
3 questions.
Yes, one of them. Can you please arrange for an awesome walker session at your palace when you buy it?
Sure.
Seems that's happening. So let's get this done.
Inshallah.
You remember us, huh?
Inshallah, for sure.
360 or
Sure.
No, in reality, not virtual.
Inshallah.
And I'm sure when you're going to
We're not the teenagers. We
Actual
work.
time.
and when you're going to buy that house, I'm sure you're going to use Ramesh to negotiate to help you with the negotiation. Yes, second question.
Second question is, how does it feel when you now head to head with the big boys, technological ones? Your app is #1. It's like you just stepped into the Godfather's land, you know.
Yeah.
How is it for you? Where do you see now yourself? Because you seem to be even more humble than before.
I see myself like, I see that we have made it. It gave me like a check mark, like, you know, we were able to be #1. You know, even if it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, or that it's possible. And I still didn't scratch the surface. So imagine if we do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and be fast in moving and efficient, we can always beat them. So I started believing that it's not about the experience of the team that you have or how big is the company or how, you know, structured or the systems that it has. It's all about the idea and innovating and moving very fast with the right team. Like OSN now is one of the biggest companies, Showtime. it's failing miserably. It launched an app called Wavo, you've seen it. It did well, but it didn't have the right passion of people behind it to drive it and work on it 24/7, focusing on it. Many other companies have created as well sub-products and sub-segments, but they didn't succeed in the long term. Sustain because they don't have a team that this is everything that they have. They want to make this as number one.
Would you sell your company completely?
Selling it completely,
and more
no. So my success would be to inspire the people and make this something huge. So only if there's a big player, a big
Facebook comes to you and says, give it to us.
Like a really big, this would help me to share a bigger message as well, to inspire people. Like Facebook have bought us, for example. So if this happens and people would really get inspired by that more than becoming a very big player alone.
You mean Facebook has bought a share in your company?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I might look into that.
Okay.
But if that doesn't inspire people to do more and better from this region around the world, I wouldn't do that. So it's always going to be coming back into if it really, what's the end outcome? What's the story at the end?
Yeah.
I don't want this to fail. I want it to be even bigger. So if I make sure that if someone buys shares in it and makes it even bigger and better, then why not? But if they're going to take it to destroy it, like what many other big companies have done in this region, then I would.
Yeah, sure. You have a third question?
The last question is from a Jordanian to another. What made you at such a young age not like others?
Not like,
Other generations?
not like other people.
Like our generation, the Jordanians in general, the Arabs, young boys, whom their biggest concern is how to get that lady on the bar, you know, how do I get the latest car, how do I get my family to be proud of me so I run my family business, how do I get my father off my head to get married, the lady he wants me to marry.
He's talking about himself. He's talking about himself.
Things that keeps us. Okay, now what? Now that you got there where you are, settle down, do what you want to do, but now when are you going to settle down? Where is your family? All these things that let you be less than what you deserve to be.
Yeah.
How do you see your cousins, brothers, or same generation?
Do this yourself.
Yes, because it's a daily conversation actually. We fight personally. I fight to prove or to be who I am because the entire clan is actually against being yourself.
So
Against you being the one.
Do you have relatives in Dubai?
what?
Do you have relatives in Dubai?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the most important thing is believing in yourself, and they will see it. So my brother, for example, he didn't believe in the concept at the beginning. You know, he's my younger brother. He's that generation. He didn't believe in it until I went to Silicon Valley, and he came to me to one of the like 4 or 5 meetings a day. I went to 6 meetings in that day. He got shocked. He was like, I thought I'm fast. And then when I was explaining the new concept, that whole teleporter concept, he looked at me and was like, oh shit. Oh shit, this is big. Now I think this is huge. When I heard him saying that, it showed me that, okay, he's my target audience. And he's saying that, and he was honest with me. He was telling me, before I wasn't really believing in that concept, but now I think this is really big. I said, okay, wow. And then when you keep on moving forward and they see the results and succeeding and showing these results, they start believing more and more, and then they start supporting you more. And they always tell you, stay away from your friends and family at the beginning, because these are the people that are going to put you down. Because these are the people that have been with you all the time, and these are the people that always, they believe in you, but they're gonna joke around. They're not gonna take you seriously, and they're worried sometimes for you. So, at the beginning, if you believe in yourself, listen to them, but believe in yourself more. And then one day you'll come back to them. They see you support them, and you support yourself, and you support them. It's still very far behind, I would say. It's really developing now. It's really getting there, but still there's so many factors that are not helping it, and mostly these are the investors that are not helping it. The investors should be the investors that invest in the seed rounds, even if the company is not there, investing in the people and the idea. And this is what you find in the States. To get money and investment in the States is super easy. And they give you the chance. They give you small money, go run with it. Show us what you can do with it. You can do something, they put more money. Here in the region, it's still very hard. And the investors, if you open, for example, any investment like Magnets is one of the startups here that shows investment reports on monthly basis. Look at the deals. They're very small compared to Silicon Valley. Investors maybe invest one deal every 5-6 months. In Silicon Valley, they have investments like every day, like that same investor investing in a new company every day. So the deal flow is much faster, which helps the ecosystem, helps people make mistakes,
dynamic
to learn.
ecosystem,
It's
yeah.
dynamic. Here, they're like very, very cautious, picky, and maybe one or two of them, like maybe two, I would consider 2 or 3 startups that have made it here in the region. So it's Souq, Kareem, and maybe Dubizzle at old times, but now okay, it was bought. But there's no Zomato, but as well, it's not. It didn't do it huge, the Entertainer. Okay, they made a nice story, and they, from a book, they went to something huge. But still, as a big unicorn companies, there were only 2, Kareem and Souq.
What about Noon and Talabat? Are they?
So Talabat, it got acquired by, at early stages. So it got really acquired at a very fast stage completely by Rocket Internet. And from there, if they waited a little bit longer, they would have made a bigger success story. Because now they didn't own it. Like they took, instead of taking, let's say, $1 billion, they took maybe $100 million. So they didn't continue to the end. They just took the money. They wanted the money. They took the money. They sold it out, exited in a year or less than a year. Noon, it's founded by the top wealthiest people. So I don't consider this as a startup. Noon is a company by itself. It's not a story. I would say it's not something that was very small and it started growing. It's an institution. It's a company. So when you look at Kareem and Souq, they have started from Kareem drivers like Magnus and Mudassir. They used to drive the cars. They were the Kareem drivers at the beginning. So where they started to where they this is a story. This is a success.
Yeah.
Souq, same thing. They were maybe 2-3 employees when they started, or 5 employees, and then now look at how they've shifted and improved and the journey that they have created.
We should have teleporters here. In awesome workers.
So are you thinking of relocating to a better ecosystem for growth or something?
So currently we opened an office in Silicon Valley. I have one person there, very inspiring lady as well, managing there. And I'm slowly looking at the option of growing that team as well to help us as well get to a stronger ecosystem, because our product now is a global product. We can have teleporters all around the world, from US to Europe to India to
Russia.
to Russia to anywhere around the world.
Russia's
Like we
amazing.
have these teleporters that they get requests on their platform. They go and cover whatever you want. So we don't need to have a base somewhere. And with this, our
But
product.
this is a technology that somebody could imitate and then do something with it also, right?
They
so
can.
how are you keeping yourself on the edge?
It's the speed and, for example, trademarks and patents. So we've patented this idea. I've as well. We trademarked the word teleporter. It's not in the dictionary. The word teleporter, you have teleport, but teleporter is not in the dictionary. So I've worked with like U.S. patent attorneys to patent the word teleporter, and we got now 80% approval, and we just need the final stages there. So there's so many ways to cover things up, and making sure, I believe, every idea can be copied, but no one would have the same, passion, drive, team,
absolutely.
and speed about it. And this is why I didn't shift to something else. Maybe someone will come and try it, it didn't work with them.
So are you thinking about
The
just
word speed.
Speed and focus are very important.
Speed.
Are you thinking of this business where it becomes kind of a news gathering agency of some sorts?
Yes, exactly. So it's
This is
like,
the whole
it's
intent.
like reporters, you know, reporters.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody becomes a reporter,
Yeah,
right?
reporters of CNN, but I have reporters all around the world that work for me, that report any important thing that people are interested about. Because people, users, are recommending what they want to see. It's not me that I'm saying. So it's not like CNN. I know that there's something there. I send a report there. You have to see it at 7 p.m.
And these people are not even giving an opinion. They're just showing what is there.
Yeah.
So it's
So showing everything.
That's it.
Showing
There's
you
no
everything.
opinion or anything.
Yeah, showing you everything that as if you are there in the incident itself.
Okay.
So you're like teleported in time to that incident.
Super.
So it's open.
Yes, Summer. Summer.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Samir.
Hi, Samar.
And, hello, and
Khaled.
Khaled. I'm sorry, it's Thursday. I salute you for your passion and your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
I want to ask you two questions. One of them is about general inspiration, and one of them is about your business, because I see the conversation going now focused towards your product and your specific thing. You mentioned that you used to kayak every week to your friends.
Yes.
And that, for me, was translated to discipline. Do you think of yourself as a disciplined person? And did that contribute to building your whole personality and your success story?
I'm not very disciplined, I would say, but I'm always active and doing things. So I use my time very efficiently in terms of what I do, in terms of not procrastinating, doing things that I like to do, balancing my life. But I would say till now I'm not very disciplined. I'm trying to be like, I have my daily routine, like what I need to do, what time I wake up, how I plan my day, so I'm disciplined in that way, but I'm not 100% disciplined. I think if I'll be a little bit more disciplined as well, I'll do much better as well. But it's the drive.
You work well in a structured manner. You achieve better in a structured
Not
like even a daily plan.
No, I put a daily plan, but sometimes I don't work on that daily plan. It's always seeing something that I want to achieve that, and I'll find a way, just a laser focus to get that. You know, I sometimes, I leave my whole plan, I see the importance of that big thing, and I focus my time on it. So sometimes structure is good, but sometimes it's not good because
That actually leads us to my next question, which is your business now. Is it going to be a unique child, or are you going to have other children? Is this a unique child as your product? Is it going to be your unique thing, or are you going to have? You will
Are you going
have
to
the
create more products?
mindset that maybe in the future I'm going to have.
Yeah, of course. Like you'll have one product, one company, but you'll want to do so many things because I believe a technology or a product reaches a peak, and after that peak, sometimes it dies or it fades out as a technology or as an idea. Like Facebook now, they're losing. Snapchat, they're losing tremendously users. Facebook, I don't even check my Facebook anymore. Nothing. I used to be on Facebook every day, every single day. Instagram is picking up, Facebook is losing like crazy, Snapchat is losing users by the day. So technology lasts for, let's say, 4 or 5 years. It's a hype. So, you build it, you create it, it lasts, and you make something big, but you still need to move to something even bigger and something even newer. So I believe for sure there's going to be something else that I'll be jumping on after I make sure that this is a success. And whatever it ends with, I want to make sure that the ending and the story is a successful story to inspire the youth and inspire people and making a better change around the world.
Lovely. We're coming to the end of the segment because it's 10:30, I believe, and time just flies over here.
At the starting of the event, when Samir said that there is every person, as in Indians say, needs a guru. Did you have a mentor or anyone who you would? Did you have like a focused mentor or someone?
So I had more than one person. Okay. So I believe that you need to find special people that know what they do. So for example, I got advisors around me. So Ramiz is my sales advisor. I have a finance advisor, a guru in finance that is next to me. Let's say a tech or startup advisor that I take advice from. and mentors that I look up for, like people that I look up for that they have done it. Why can't I do it? So I look at them as, okay, people that these people have done it. Why can't I do it? And I know these people. I talk to them, and okay, they can give you advice, but sometimes their advice might not be. They haven't done exactly what you have done. So they might give you advice on different things in different aspects. But always you have to have the right people around you to give you advice on the right things to do.
Super. We're coming to the end of the session. I just want to ask you, when was the last time you met that CEO?
That CEO? Maybe a year.
A year?
Yeah, because he left the company as well.
Okay.
When I left, he left.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Join you?
he didn't join me. He went back to, where was he from? Hungary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he realized probably he needed to do
something, but I want to check on him. What is he doing? What?
Lovely.
Maybe you inspired them.
Probably.
Pick a card, but don't.
Sir, one thing. Before you do the ceremony, is there a book that has inspired you?
Yes, there's a book which is Rich Dad Poor Dad. So Rich Dad Poor Dad was one of the books that really inspired me. And after reading it in a week, I met the author.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, I have if you go to my Instagram, I have a session with him, a video with him. That I had a private session with him, telling him how he inspired me and how his book really changed my life.
So who inspired you, the rich dad or the poor dad?
Huh?
Who inspired you?
Both. Both had nice
Yeah,
stories.
it's an amazing story. Yeah.
Go on Instagram.
I want to just.
Yeah.
So while you pick the card and reflect, what I want you to do is reflect on what was your message from today's conversation. What are you getting? What did you get out of this 1 hour conversation with Khaled? Who wants to go? Yeah.
If you have a great idea, don't share it with your
If you have a great idea, don't share it with your friends and family first.
Yeah. Keep them away. Sammy wanted to say that.
Seriously. Embrace the impossible.
Yeah.
Embrace.
But what I really learned today is that he was empowered when he was 13 years old. And unfortunately, you are very lucky to have such father, because sometimes we don't empower each other. Literally, we don't empower kids. I have seen it a lot of times that we stop kids from being themselves, even at the beach, even in the park, even in the normal safe places. We ask them to behave. Yet you have someone in Saudi Arabia, many years ago, allowing his son to be the one going to school on bike, and that you don't have a license yet.
Yeah.
Your father was that bold to give you that empowerment, knowing that you might be caught by the police, and he wants you to deal with that.
Yeah.
So empowerment starts from that age, and today, look whom do we have in the room.
Lovely.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Wait for the mic. You will make it famous.
What I took from this is that you really followed your dream. You believed in it 100%. There was no, maybe I will do it today, and you never let anyone waver you from it. You said you had lots of friends telling you so many things. You found the way, and like you said, when all those girls going from the window, I think that is fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is fair. I have to deliver it.
Oh, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Love the story. I love startup stories. I love the whole future accelerators. All of that just genuinely inspires me. Nothing about tech is what I know. Nothing about tech, but I enjoy the ambition that you guys have. And my takeaway from the whole of tonight was, with Mary Jane, who was talking about her story, was all about her heart, passion, drive, and you confirmed it for me with believe. Believe in yourself, believe in your idea, believe that you can do it, and whoever tells you it's not going to work, it's not going to happen, this is wasting your time, let them fuel you to keep going, finding ways to prove them wrong, but believing in your idea and doing it as your driving force. That to me is my takeaway. So I thank you for sharing your story.
Anyone? All right, what's on the card?
In the hands of a samurai, even a blade of grass is a weapon.
Wow. Say that again.
In the hands of a samurai, even a blade of grass is a weapon.
Wow.
Yeah.
They should say
This is so apt.
It's so apt
just
to you.
in your,
My
how
God.
do you reflect on that? Your app is a weapon.
It's a weapon.
It's a
Exactly.
deadly weapon.
Exactly. It's a weapon.
softer than the grass.
It's softer than a grass. So yeah, I believe that whatever you have, and if you believe in it, it can be something super powerful.
Yeah.
And driving it and using it as a sword. So
Yeah.
it might not be a sword. It's it's a grass, but that grass you can hold it in a way that it can be a blade. It can be a sword at the same time. You can fight with it.
Yeah.
And it's how you position it, how you sell it, how you talk about it. And I always tell my team members as well, like, never, always take, know that what you have is something super powerful. It's only convincing the other people and showing them the actual real value of this thing that you have. It can be a blade. So some people have the most precious items in the world, but they don't value them as much. And some other people have something very small or something not valuable, but they value it a lot. And they use it in a way that it would be something super powerful for them. So yeah.
Super. Guys, I have some sad news for you.
Why?
The session is coming to an end. Thank you so much for being here. See you guys next week for another session of Awesome Walkers.